Dr. Josh Bazell is the New York Times best-selling author of Beat the Reaper and Wild Thing. He's also our consultant on urban medicine, doing a segment he likes to call Sorry You Asked. So Josh, do rats in New York ever attack people?
They sure do, Soledad. There are up to 32 million rats in New York City, and rat attacks are the second most common kind of bite injury here. In fact, the Centers for Disease Control estimates that rats attack New Yorkers about 6 times a day. Although saying a day is a bit misleading because the majority of rat attacks happen at night to people who are asleep in bed.
Asleep?
Correct. A rat can go through a space the size of a quarter, so a closed bedroom door isn't going to slow one down much. There are plenty of reports of rats going after people who are awake. For example, last year a large rat ran up a woman's pant leg on the A train in front of a lot of witnesses. But all things being equal, rats prefer to attack people who are immobile, particularly if they have food on their faces, like children often do.
Did you just say faces and children?
Both are very common targets in New York. Rats will go for anyone, though. They've been known to attack cadavers in the city morgue.
And what happens when you get bitten by a rat? Rabies?
Rats can carry rabies, and people who get bitten by rats are usually given a rabies virus vaccine. But there's actually no known case of a rat transmitting rabies to a human in New York or anywhere else.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Right, it's the other 40 human diseases that rats carry that are the problem. Like systemic streptobacillus maniliformis, which is known as rat bite fever, and, although this is rare in New York, bubonic plague, which has killed more people than all the wars in history.
Yuck. Well, at least tell me that urban legend about rats coming up through the toilets isn't true.
It's absolutely true. For example, there was an epidemic of rats coming out of toilets in the West Village in the mid-1990s, when construction on the West Side Highway was tearing up a lot of their burrows. Rats in toilets are relatively easy to prevent from a plumbing point of view. You can install a one-way valve. But since rats can swim a mile and tread water for 3 days, getting into a toilet that isn't valved is fairly easy for them. As for getting out of a toilet, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, an adult Norway rat like we have in New York can jump 3 feet into the air. New York used to have large populations of 2 other kinds of rat, by the way, but the Norway rat ate them.
That is somehow even more disgusting. All right, I need to get off this topic. But before you go, you said rat bites were the second most common kind of animal bites in New York. So what's the first?
Humans. And Soledad, you're sorry you asked.